we started the session, me and Colin and Rick got over at the Syndicate Lake last night at about 4:30. By the time we had a little chit chat and got everything set up, it was in the dark, and I pulled 2 carp out last night, one of 15 and one of about £10, on a little RR1 washed out pop-up. This is a smaller one of the two, so they've been in a retainer sling or 2 retainer slings overnight. Normally don't do it, but it was so dark last night and misty that we couldn't get a decent video shot, so they're a bit lively. So this is the first or the second one I had last night. Little £10 cracking common, absolutely picturesque, really dark colours, and I say it come off the RR1 washed out pop-up over a little bed of RR1 Sinkums, the new pellets that are out. It literally ripped off, and this one was about up past 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, I think, something like that. But absolutely cracking little one. Give a good fight under the rod, and yeah, really pleased with it. It's my 3rd fish out of Syndicate session, and the second fish sorry of this trip. So we'll just slip this one back in a second and show you the other one. But I had this one on a RR1 washed out pink pop-up again. I'll show you the spots a little bit later in the rigs, but this one was £15. Absolutely beautiful one again. The commons in here really dark, really nice. Again, ripped off. Oh. Fishing tight up against snags, I was completely locked, but it ripped off until couldn't pull no line at all. Pulled into it, took a couple of steps back, and a good 15 minutes play with this one, and in she come. I say normally I don't sack them, but just because of the poor light last night and the fact that it was really foggy, we decided to stick them in a couple of retainer slings, and obviously show you the first light this morning. So here's the other side. Like I say, absolutely cracking commons in here. Some nice ones as well, into their 20s. Got some really nice mirrors in here. But this would do me. 2 fish in a session. I had this one, and then hook pulled one, and then had the little small 10-pounder about 12:30 last night. So yeah, wicked start to the session. This is what it's all about. So what we're going to do in a little while is put this one back. We're going to talk the rigs that we had it on. We're going to show you the bait that we had it on, and hopefully get a few more out. Happy days, lovely. Right, I've got all the rods back out on the mark. I'm just going to talk about a few little toys that I've got. I've got myself a couple of underwater cameras. One of them's like a copy of a GoPro. As you know, some of you may have watched my vlogs on my old channel. I did have an underwater camera. I actually got myself a GoPro early last year. But what it had a fisheye lens on it, and then the actual case had a fisheye lens. And when I put it in the water, everything went blurry. So I looked at buying the case or the underwater proof casing for it to stop that, and it was like 60-70 quid for a plastic case. So what I opted to do was sell the GoPro. So I literally had it for about 4 days, and I tried making a case, but it just didn't work. So I sold the GoPro, I've put the money away, and got myself a few other bits of fishing tackle with it. But I've been saving up since Christmas, and I got myself 2 little underwater cameras. One of them's a Wi-Fi action cam, basically pretty much copied on the GoPro. It does everything the GoPro does, probably not as good quality build, but it still does exactly what I want it to do. Underwater casing, it's got a couple of attachments, so hopefully when me and Colin or myself get used to the different angles of water and stuff like that, when we put the camera in and see fish, we'll have some footage of the fish under the water, and maybe if we can get it right and work it right, get a few fish on the feed in this lake maybe as well. I say this one was reduced from 179 quid in my local sort of PC World or whatever the shop is by the airport where I live. It was 177 quid down to 29.99. So I had this one on order anyway, and I paid for it, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to get another one. So I bought this one. The footage that you see in this blog of the boat going towards the far margins is this camera. This one turned up this morning. And I say, as this lake is literally about a 2-minute drive from my house, I went home and went and got this camera to have a little look of it and look it over and stuff like that. But obviously I didn't have time to charge it up, so the battery on this is only at 1 bar, not enough to do anything with. But I've got a couple of attachments with this, and I've got a few attachments with this one. This one's for the top of the boat, and this one will be for under the boat, on the net, in the water and stuff like that. The attachments that I've got with it: little control. I've got myself a little wireless control, so while it's set up, obviously I can use this as well to snap myself some pictures. So I'll have this sort of set up and take myself a few pictures on some of the self takes, you know, maybe get like a nice sort of big surround and background every now and then. Little tap there on the rod. I got myself a mountain bike adjustment or something like that for a handle or whatever, but I'm going to use that for my landing net. So landing net goes through that hole, so the landing net, if you can imagine, is coming out here, me holding it here, and the camera will sit on top, so that would get some footage of the fish going in the landing net. That would be nice. And I might even put it upside down every now and then and see whether we can get any footage of it underwater. But if I do that, I'll have to obviously have it that way, so I'll have to buy some attachments to be able to do that the right way, otherwise you'll be seeing everything upside down. That's just the wind. I've got myself a helmet cam as well, so I might look ridiculous on the bank a few times this year. I might buy myself a black motorbike cycle helmet or something, and maybe put this on, or even sort of attach it to my head and have the camera on, so it would be like a fisheye, or well, not a fisheye, but a sort of a straight on view, like, you know, like they do on the Call of Duty games and stuff like that. So it would be me as I'm playing the fish sort of thing and looking. I might have a few, like, just mix and change up the blogs a little bit. Say me and Colin have got a few ideas this year. We're going to try and make the blogs better, bigger and better, a little bit more info. When it's just me on my own, it's really hard to do the things I sort of want to do. But when you've got someone else on the bank that's capable of using the camera, it's a lot easier. I say, when I go with the old man, I'm going to start teaching him how to use the cameras, because my dad sort of turns it on and goes, well, what do I do now? But I'll teach him what to do, teach him what buttons to look out for and what digits to look out for to know it's recording. And yeah, hopefully we'll have some bigger and better blogs this year. So I've got Colin on my syndicate lake, so every time I come to my syndicate lake, hopefully I'll be teamed up with Colin, and it would be a joint effort. If I'm not catching them, maybe he is, there'll still be fish on the show and stuff like that. If I go to Bayswater with my old man, so hopefully we'll have some action there. And over Bayswater it's crystal clear, the water. It's a really nice crystal clear lake, so I'll be getting some waders, and if the old man gets a take, I'll wade out a little bit and have the camera, this one or my other one, on a boom under the water, and hopefully try and get an action of the actual camera or the fish being pulled into the net and being netted underwater. You know, there is a lot of people out there that already do it. I think is it Real Fishing UK or something like that? They're already doing that sort of style. Back of the landing net as well, I think, do it, and it's about time I sort of caught up with them. I think my blogs are good enough to be able to justify this sort of style of camera work. So hopefully we'll get some footage pretty soon of this sort of style of stuff. But yeah, so at the moment it's pretty quiet. The fish are on the surface in front of Colin, so he's gone, say, like I said, with extended sort of pop-ups, not quite zig fishing, but extended pop-ups. I've basically gone on the bottom still because I've got no gear for zig fishing or anything like that. I left all that at home. But I'm just hoping maybe one fish goes down a little bit later on this afternoon and I'll pick another one up before I go. But I'll say I'm happy with what I've got. Third time on the syndicate, 3 fish. And yeah, It's working out alright for me so far. So I'm just going to get Colin to make a cup of tea as I brought the food down a little bit earlier on for him, and sit down and talk a few more tactics and tips for these new blogs. So talk to you guys a little bit later. Right, I'm just going to answer a question that I got on my YouTube Facebook page the other day about my reels. What are they and why do I use them? The reason why I use them is because I like them, to be honest with you. There's no other thing to say really. It's not because everyone else uses them, it's not because they're the best reels for the price. I use them because I like them, and these are them. They're the Shimano Active Cast 1100. As far as I'm aware, when I went to the show last year, I asked Shimano when they had their stall set up whether I could buy spare spools for these, and the bloke that I asked didn't have a clue what I was going on about. He said to me, "I've never heard of them, mate, to be honest." So I had a little bit of a research into it, and they're for the American market. They're a big pit spinner reel. That's what it says on the box, Active Cast spinner. It's the same as the British LTGs, I think they are. The same sort of design at the back, the spools interchange, the reel handles and everything interchange, the bail arms the same size, the actual reel itself, the framework is the same size. Differences with this one, it's just a different colour and got a different spool, and it's half the price. I think the 5,500 LTGs are like 179 or 159 or something like that. To be honest, I'm not too clued up on the price of gear. I've got what I've got, I like it, and I sort of keep to it really. But this one, brand new, when they first come out were 99 quid and now they're 64 quid. The only problem is they are quite hard to find in the UK nowadays. You have to sort of go on the internet and get them from America or stuff like that. But I've got 3 of these, I like them. I've had 3 before. I sold them to get the Shimano long casts, but I was impatient when I was saving up, so I just went and bought another 3 of them. The main feature for this that I like is the drag. I don't know if you can hear that clicking, but when you've got a fish towing line, or taking line out should I say, and all of a sudden it darts off and that starts going click 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 click, it's a wicked sound, and that's basically the answered question. They're an American style reel. They're based more for the American market than they are for the British. Probably the reason why they've got the gold spool and you know, the sort of metallic silver body. But for me, I like them, and yeah, you know, that's the reason why I use them, because I do like them. And that's basically that answer question. So I hope that helps. And if you do want to look them up on the internet or anything like that, just type in Shimano Active Cast 1100, and you should find maybe 1 or 2 UK stockists, but I say it is getting harder to find now. But you can get them over in America, I think 10 to a penny to be honest. Every single American site seems to have them and does seem to have them in stock, and they're about $149 over in America. It probably works out at about 70, 80 odd quid, something like that. But I won't be changing my reels too quick. I do like them, and they've landed me many a fish. So that's the reel section sorted. Right, let's talk rigs. The rig that's doing the business for me at the minute, it's a safe Corda safe zone leader in clear. I've got all 3 rods set up pretty much exactly the same, apart from the different colour Corda leader. I've got silt on one and gravel on the other, but this one's the clear one. I go straight onto a Corda clip, as you can see there. It's a quick breakaway, gets snagged up, drops the lead. It's a Lucky lead. Not lucky to me, but the company's called Lucky Leads, as some of you know about from my previous blog on my old page. I get leads all from them, and this is a moss one. And what I've done, I've put it in the water, and then I've took it out in the sun and let all the moss die, and it just looks a little bit better for me. So a Corda clip, like I said. I go onto a quick breakaway link there, covered with a little bit of silicone, just to keep everything nice and neat and protected. It's a Nash soft coated braid. It's literally probably about 4 inches, maybe 5 at the most. Coated all the way up and stripped back about 1 inch, and the hair's stripped back. Little split shot on there, little bit of putty just to get everything critically balanced. It's onto a fox hook. I can't remember the actual name of the hook, but I know it's a fox hook. And this is what's doing the damage. little RR1 washed out pink pop-up, topped off with a little red maggot. And I've got the hook set up KD style, so when it's like that, basically it's in the water, it sort of spins around like that, and it's been nailing every fish so far. I've got it on all 3 rods, like I said. I've had 3 takes in all, 2 on this rod, on this rig, 1 on the other one. The only difference is I've got a bottom bait on the left hand rod and 2 pop-ups on the middle and right. So I'm going to change the left hand rod over to a little pop-up and just see if I can maybe wingle another one out today. But the way the weather is, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. All the fish are on the surface. I've got no zig gear with me at all. The weatherman got it wrong again. It was meant to be overcast with showers and rain and all sorts of stuff like that, strong winds. But it's a beautiful day. There's not a cloud in the sky, and if there is, it's far and few between, and it's hot, so it's nowhere near right. But I'm enjoying myself. I'm catching fish, and everything's good. So talk to you a little bit later. Right, it's 4 o'clock and nothing's happened yet. It's got really nippy now actually, it's got quite cold. Wind's blowing in our face and must admit my fingers are really quite cold. Even though the sun's still out behind us, the wind's definitely overpowering the rays from the sun. All the fish have disappeared off the top now. They've all sort of obviously dropped in the layers of the water, so I feel pretty confident we might pick one up. But to be frankly honest, I don't think I'm going to get one between now and packing up in the next hour, hour and a half or so. I'm going to get home a little bit earlier. I was going to get home for about 9, but I'm going to get home a bit earlier because it is turned quite chilly, and the missus is doing me a nice dinner tonight, and she's getting spoiled tomorrow. So Colin lost one earlier on, as you know about, on the sort of style sig rig setup. He's put one back out there again, the same style, but where the fish had disappeared, he's thinking of changing it back on the bottom again. His rigs are a bit different to mine, same sort of style, but he uses a longer hook link, and I think at the minute he's got one on a free running inline lead, just the line and the lead free running. So if he does get anything when I pack up tonight, he's going to have the spare camera, and he's going to film himself holding the fish, so hopefully there'll be more than just mine on there. So we've just done another boatload of bait out. We just took a bit of bait out on the boat and dropped it over the spots, not to disturb the bait that's actually lying in wait for the fish. You know, mine are in the perfect positions just as I wanted them yesterday, and it's where I caught the fish yesterday as well. So rather than reel them in and redo it, we just dropped another load of bait over the top. Not a lot, probably about a teacup full each one, and Colin's done the same with his. It's been a bit weird today. No fish have sort of crashed today. Normally every time I've been over here, you've always seen one sort, or seen 2 fish crash out in this end. That's the reason why I wanted to get in this swim, and I managed to this time. But yeah, it's just seems a bit weird. You might say you might hear the wind on the camera. So wind's changed. It was hacking down the bottom of the lake yesterday, and so this afternoon about 1 o'clock it sort of turned and started blowing straight into our face. So it's quite a cold wind, so maybe the fish are on the back of the wind. It's good because it's where we're baited up, but I say with the hot sun today, they've been on the surface, and it might have just disrupted them a little bit, and you know, they might have gone off the feed. Who knows? You know, if I was to do another night, I might get another one maybe tonight, but I'm going to go home, so hopefully Colin will have the whole lake to himself and maybe produce 1 or 2. He is going to put a rod on the area that I had 2 runs on last night. That's a good move. Anyone would do that really. I'd certainly do it if I was not catching. He went home and left the spot free. I'd do it. So good luck for him tonight if he does. But yeah, so far, you know, there's been a few different views and camera angles in this blog. It's what's going to be coming in, more of them. Once obviously we work out how to use the underwater cameras and actually film the fish swimming away rather than just filming murky cloudy water like we did. You know, there'll be some good shots and stuff like that. Once we you know, get used to a few of the other bits and bobs and sort of work out how we can use both cameras simultaneously and cut, and you know, I can do all the editing, we should have some good blogs coming up. So, but this is the first of different camera reviews and stuff. So, you know, if I don't get anything between now and by the time I'll be packing up, obviously I'll see you next time on the bank. But if Colin gets anything, he'll have the spare camera. He's going to drop round the footage tomorrow if he does, and I'll obviously edit into the end of the blog. So for now, I'm going to make myself a cup of tea like I normally always do, and slowly start packing away my gear. So tight lines, and I'll see you on the bank soon. And say, I'm going to leave the spare camera Colin, and if he does get anything, hopefully there'll be a little bit more to put on the end of this. So talk to you soon. Like I said, tight lines and happy days.